Okay, everybody, we're back. Let's please give a warm welcome to our next panelists. They will be discussing Civic Community Fund and Ecosystem for Korea and Japan. And we have Seki from Code for Japan here.
Yes.
We also have Wanseob Lim from PSC Ethereum Foundation and Ethcon Korea. We also have Vienna Loy joining us from Kuala Lumpur. And let's please give a warm welcome to our panelists today.
Hi everyone. I will first briefly introduce myself and then invite our two panelists to introduce themselves. So my name is Vienna. I'm from Malaysia and organizing the Ethereum Kuala Lumpur conference later this year, October 4 to 6. And we also have a hacker house there. And I'm also with this inspiring friends, part of Pagoda network. So yeah.
Hello. I'm Wanseob from PSC. I'm doing a applied cryptography research for my day job and doing community activities for my hobbies, like hosting some conference or helping others. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Seki from Code for Japan. Code for Japan is 11 years old, and we have been promoting civic tech in Japan. And my personal story about Code for Japan is I have been working for many startups, and built some open source tools. But I experienced the earthquake in Japan in 2011. I realized that we need to build some kind of the public goods. At that time, there was no word about digital public goods, but I felt I want to contribute to something good. So that's why I started Code for Japan.
And this leads to like a natural extension of me wondering what kind of efforts are both of you putting into public goods funding right now?
Okay. Actually, I am very new to this civic hacking community and public goods funding stuffs. But actually, what I'm doing now is that I am actually trying to have some civic hackers club, which is a participating in hackathons. But actually, we have a fund which is donated by people who wants to support the journey to let students explore abroad by participating global Ethereum hackathons. And our model is something like if the students actually participate in global hackathons, they can learn a lot there. And also, if they win any prize, they should fund back 100% of the prize to the public funding pool. Because of that, actually, they can learn. Also, if they win, they can be the donor automatically. And also we can keep the sustainability. This is something some experimental beginning start, and this is actually what I am doing in Korea.
Cool. Yeah, in Japan, Code for Japan has three focusing area. One is building e-participation tools. We localized the e-participation platform called Decidim, born in Barcelona, and provided to the local government. So it's very important to invite citizens to say something to the city's city planning or some other opportunities to build policies. And also, second is building public goods, digital public goods. So we have many projects, and most of the software created by the projects is open sourced. So we want to build the infrastructure for the civic technologies. And also third is providing opportunities for the citizens to start their projects. And also create an environment for the people who want to help someone who are trying to build something. So we organize monthly hackathons. And we not just like a competitive hackathon, we invite people who want to share their ideas or projects, and the people, other people help the leaders, so that and build the community stronger.
And I wanted to emphasize that when you hear Haru-san talk about it, I feel like both of them are often very humble. Like I feel like their work are actually very inspiring. You know, for me, like from Malaysia, like I look at like Code for Japan have been working for more than 10 years on all this community, and Code for Japan is in so many cities around Japan as well. So I feel inspired, and that's why I feel like we are also learning. You know, that's part of why I'm interested in this like discussion. So in Malaysia, you know, we also have our own civic tech community where before this is very Web 2, but now there's recently like even the groups that I was a part of more than 10 years ago are starting to adopt things like NFT to it's like even for Ethereum KL, there are members who own an NFT of their local parliament member. So, but then you are monitoring what they are doing. So, but there's a lot more, but I can share later. But I'm also curious about, you know, Haru-san already mentioned that you started Code for Japan because of the earthquake and the natural disaster, right? And I'm also curious for Wanseob, like what got you into this? And you can also expand as well.
Yeah, actually, I share that I'm relatively new to the public goods funding and the civic hacking community. The reason actually I started getting into this field is that because of the intersection with the open source thing. For me, open source is one of the most important thing for me. The reasons are because in Korea, it's a kind of our unique situation, but the competition level is really high in Korea. So because of that, we are marking the lowest birth rate in the world, like 0.78 is something that we can believe. And also we have the most high suicide rate, which is twice of the average of the OECD countries. And these kind of social problems mainly, I believe, caused because of the zero-sum games, because we compete with each other, and always we are under that circumstance. But actually, around 2017, I just started to get into the open source culture and figured out, oh, this is super different with the startup culture, because everything started from donating and giving something. For especially, we are donating one of the most productive means of production, the source code, to the community. So that was my main point that I started to get into the open source community and the culture. And recently, actually in Pagoda, I learned from Har and the other communities in Malaysia that, oh, we can actually expand it more broadly. We can start to give something, not only for about the source code, but also many things. And because of that, oh, there's a intersection that transitioning the zero-sum game to a positive-sum game is something related to more a civic hacking. So that is the reason why I got into this field. Yeah, and I have one more thing, but maybe I would love to share this later. Yeah.
Okay, I'll invite you later. And I also wanted Haru-san to share, like, you talk about Japan, like disaster management, and you earlier today you also asked a question about like what are the use cases. So what do you see like?
Use cases. We have many use cases. So actually, Code for Japan is a citizen community, and also we help the government to let for creating some kind of open environment within the government, and also so let them to give opportunity to invite citizens to work together. So we have both sides of the projects, and one of the big use case is the COVID-19 dashboard for the Tokyo metropolitan government. We built the software for the government, and the government used that software to show the COVID-19 statistics and very beautiful way. And also we published the source code on the GitHub and asked the contributions for the developers. And so many contributions came after publishing the source code, and the software, the website was dramatically improved. For example, improving the accessibility and so on, and also forked to the many regions. That kind of use case is was very eye-opening. Eye-opening things for the local government officials. So that kind of creating using open source software is really important. Really the effective way to work with the various people. So we have many use cases, but one of that.
Yeah, and in this like regard, like how like sharing like use cases abroad, I think it's very helpful. Like even like what Wanseob was working on, like it was also very quickly forked in the Taiwan community. Like what your public punk project, I'm sure you'll tell us more, and also maybe you can share with us first.
Yeah, I briefly shared that we are having a public fund, so people can donate it into the fund. And this fund is used to sponsor students to go to the hackathons. So that's all. And then students, if they win, they actually fund back. In our case, we are letting them 100% give back to the fund again. And very fortunately and luckily, Taiwan community forked this approach experiment, and we are having a multiple iterations in parallel. So at the end, we're gonna see more data, and we can learn many things from a various experiments. So this is so important that this is about the openness, and this is about my main motivation that I started to do more things in the civil tech thing, because this is also related to my cypherpunk philosophy, because I'm a cypherpunk actually who considered our world as a dystopia. And I am trying to resolve this thing using cryptography. For example, we have so many CCTVs and things, and actually we are just giving our data to the trustworthy looking parties a lot. For example, ChatGPT. And then let's assume that you have a basic income because of the AGI. And then at the end, we're gonna finally lose our motivation to learn, to work, to create, because they're much better than us. And also because of that, we're gonna have some basic income. And then what happens? Then if ChatGPT changes their mind to rule the people, actually we lose all the resistibility. So because of that, to increase the resistibility and the resilience, it is super important to share the knowledges and make things open. And just spreading this openness culture is a kind of very crucial things for humanity. And so this actually is my second very biggest motivation that I'm doing this.
Yeah, and I just wanted to share, we only have 5 more minutes left, but last questions, yeah? And this kind of like experimentation, like, and in a way that is suitable to local context, in a way that is aligned to Asia values and philosophy, I think is really important. Where like we are seeing right now, I mean, changes are always happening, right? Like in Malaysia, we are seeing, like for the Ethereum KL conference, we are trying to bring the digital minister and or the minister who, the agency that actually develop digital economy and issues digital nomad visa at the same platform with a Web3 community and the grassroots community. And these are NFT artists who used to be like banned and jailed by the government because back then we still have a colonial law, like the British law, so, like where you cannot say anything bad about the government. That's why Malaysia had the same government for 60 years. It's stable, but it was corrupted. And eventually, but you know, being Asian, I feel like we took the slow path of changing the government peacefully. So we had to use the electoral system to beat the government, which means that we had to convince like more than 90% of Malaysia population to vote against the government just to win the election. So it took a lot of like mobilizing, but that is now the grassroots level in Malaysia. So we are now trying to do a conference where we bring the grassroots, the NFT artists who are, you know, often in prison for insulting the king or insulting the government, but also bringing the government there too, because now it's also a unique opportunity in Malaysia. So I'm curious, like, what are the next steps for both of you? Yeah.
Yeah, for me, so I have been struggling with how to build a sustainable community, because civic tech community is mostly the voluntary based, and it's difficult to create so it's easy to build the prototypes by community, but it's very difficult to build actual software which can help the actual people. So we need support from the government or private companies. So we want to have I'm going to build a new endowment fund, which I will collect the certain money from the private entities and generate incomes from the fund, and also we provide we share the generated income to the each community. Such kind of so funding ecosystem we want to build.
Yeah, definitely the financial thing is the most challenging part. Actually, I think I am focusing much more on the cultural thing, and also this is also related to what Taka raised up, and also related to Pagoda. That I think that Pagoda people think that we can expand this a positive sum game experiment not only the local community level but to a cross-nation level. So because of that, I can give some help to Malaysia community or maybe Japan community or somewhere else. And actually, this kind of giving something first will actually trigger the positive sum game a lot. And having this kind of a culture and sharing this culture and making this culture more prosper will actually can be some more different approach for the sustainability.
Yeah. So I was told that we have a minute left, but if you have last thoughts, you're welcome. And I think this is just us trying to show that, hey, ecosystemic well-being is really important, and we can learn from each other. And experiments are good, and also knowing your local culture and context is really important, not just to import all the Western technology without considering that maybe it will get people addicted or depressed or suicidal. Any last words?
Yeah, I feel so. Sharing the knowledge is really important. Each civic tech community in the Taiwan and Korea and Japan is different. Yeah, so also the sustainability model is also different, and the social issues is close but different. So, but we can reproduce the structure model and as open source. This is really important. So not just sharing the knowledge, but also the sharing the way to solve. So that is really nice community to have.
Yeah, so I really appreciate Hall that actually is sharing the experiences for the last 10 years because we are kind of a toddler and we need to learn a lot. And this sharing experiences helps other communities so much. So actually, this can be, yeah, a really important thing, sharing experiences and appreciate Hall.
That's it then. Thank you.
Thank you very much.